In the fashion industry, landing your dream job can really be all about who you know. So networking can be super valuable for a successful career. But I know that networking can feel like icky and dirty and annoying and scary, but it doesn't have to. Because instead of looking at it like networking, look at it like making friends and building relationships. And there are a million small things that you can do to create this network and these friendships and relationships to make sure that your next dream fashion industry job is waiting there whenever you need it, which is exactly what we're gonna go through in this video. 8 simple strategies you can use starting today to start building friendships and relationships and a network. Best news? You can do this wherever you are. You don't need to live in a fashion hub like New York or LA. I'm Heidi, founder of SuccessfulFashionDesigner.com, and I teach fashion designers like you the real world skills you need to get ahead in the fashion industry. It's all the stuff you don't learn at fashion school, and it's all the stuff that nobody else talks about, which is why I call it Fashion Industry Secrets Revealed. Now, the advice in this video isn't just stuff that I made up. It's stuff I've learned over a decade working professionally as a designer, and it's also things that I've learned from interviewing over 75 industry professionals on my podcast, Successful Fashion Designer. These designers have worked at brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Lululemon, and DKNY, and I've handpicked their best advice and packed them up into a short video for you. If you want to check out the full interview, they're all linked in the description below. Here's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. Number 1, how to remind people that you're around without being a pest. Number 2, the simple strategy to be the kind of designer brands want to hire for every job. Number 3, why having conversations will lead to more work opportunities than networking. Number 4, how to find work in your local community no matter where you live. Number 5, how to make sure brands think of you for every new job opportunity. Number 6, the 2 magic words that can make or break your fashion industry success. Number 7, how to stand out from 99% of the competition to make sure you get the job. And number 8, the easy way to maintain your network and have fun doing it. Now, some of these strategies may seem super simple, but after interviewing over 75 guests on my podcast, I noticed trends. There were patterns in what the successful designers were doing that put them on an amazing career trajectory. And while these things may seem super simple, the truth is that most people don't do them. So if you do, if you make these things habit, every fashion job throughout your career should be right around the corner whenever you need it. Number 1, how to remind people that you're around without being a pest. Now, this specific example comes from Carla Louise Stout, who I interviewed in episode 60. Carla's had an amazing career of over 15 years, and pretty much every job that she's gotten has literally fallen into her lap. Now, what Carla does comes very naturally for her, but one of the biggest things that she does that has created a ton of job opportunities is staying in touch with recruiters. She doesn't just reach out to recruiters when she needs a new job, she keeps them up to date with what she's working on. It's as simple as sending them some new designs from a collection that just launched, sharing that she just got a piece of press in a magazine, or updating them if she does happen to get a new job. This reminds them that she's active and current in the industry, and when an awesome job comes across their desk, she's gonna be the first person they think of. So how can you do this? Well, you can keep in touch with recruiters, but there's a ton of other ways you can apply this example. The bigger overarching idea here is you want to be friends with people, not just reach out when you need something. You can invite someone to an industry-related event. You can congratulate someone on a new job or promotion. Give them a genuine congratulations and let them know that you're really excited for them. Tell someone thank you for something that they did recently or something that they did a long time ago. Maybe 2 years ago, a friend helped you get a job. Maybe last month, someone sent you an awesome trend report. Reach out and just say, hey, I was thinking about you and I just wanted to say thank you again for this amazing thing that you did. It doesn't matter how recent it was. If something funny comes up that used to be an inside joke with an old coworker, ping them and just let them know you were thinking about them and that funny thing you guys used to joke about. Maybe something valuable comes across your desk, like an awesome article or a new resource for fabric. Send it to someone who you think could benefit from that. Every time you reach out to somebody in this manner, your relationship with them will grow that much stronger. Remember, it's about staying in touch and being friends, not just reaching out when you need something. Number 2, the simple strategy to be the kind of designer brands want to hire for every job. This is gonna sound ridiculously simple, but a lot of people don't do this. Be nice and be a team player. Now, before you fast forward through this one, really think about your actions. What kind of a person are you to hang around with? The specific example I want to share is from Eileen Coyle, who I interviewed in episode 47. Eileen got her start in the industry with a huge job at BCBG. And every job she's had since then has come from friends. Here are a few specific things you can do to be an awesome person to work with, the kind of person that friends want to bring onto a new team. When people ask you to do something, don't be the person that says, "That's not part of my job." It's about being a team player and helping everyone, even if that means pitching in to help out with some menial or tedious tasks that are boring and below your skill set. It's about saying yes to things instead of saying, "No, that can't be done." Be the person that says, "Yes, I will figure out a way." And last, just be nice. Don't talk shit, don't gossip, don't backstab, and don't be a complainer. Really think about, are you the kind of person that people want to be around and work with? Number 3, why having conversations will lead to way more opportunities than networking. This example comes from Marissa Borelli, who I interviewed in episode 4 of my podcast. And she's worked for brands like Lululemon and Athleta. Marissa has built up a 6-figure freelancing business. And almost all of her work has come through industry contacts and having conversations. Because at the end of the day, it's not about shoving your resume or your business card in people's face and screaming, "I need a job, I need work." It's starting a dialogue and being genuinely interested in them and what they are doing. Because people love talking about themselves and they love talking about their brand. So if you can go in and focus the conversation on them, it's going to go so far. So how exactly do you do this? Well, it does take a little bit of upfront legwork. You have to do some research. So anytime you're going to an industry event, if this is a trade show, if this is a meetup, figure out who's going to be there and research them beforehand. Scope them out on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn and just see what this person or brand is up to. Go in with at least one specific talking point for every brand or person that you want to introduce yourself to. It could be talking about the new collection that they just launched. Think of a specific detail that you can mention. It can be about a new collaboration or a sponsorship that the brand is working with. If there's already a personal history, it can be about something personal, their kids, their spouse, a promotion they just got. Again, get the conversation started about them and they will be so excited to talk. From there, just keep asking questions and be genuinely engaged. It can be giving them ideas or asking them about a specific resource. Maybe you're wondering, "Hey, have you guys ever thought about introducing a men's line?" Or, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this new fabric from so-and-so supplier?" And as it comes up naturally, you can insert yourself into the conversation. You can say that you are looking for new opportunities. If it doesn't come up naturally, you can gently close the conversation with, "I'm always exploring new opportunities and I would love to follow up with you to give you some ideas that I have about what you guys are working on." And refer back to something you talked about earlier in the conversation. If you already have their contact info, great, you're done. If not, make sure to get it and you're on your way. Then what do? This leads us right to number 4, how to make sure brands think of you for every job opportunity. Do you know one of the hardest things it is to find in an employee? Someone who is reliable and does what they say they're going to do. So when you talk to someone at an event, at a trade show, whatever it is, and you tell them you're gonna follow up. It is mind-blowing how many people say they're going to reach out and never do. So when you actually do it, you will stand out and they will remember you. Now, if you're not sure what to say, I put a template together after I interviewed Marissa on the podcast with some exact swipe copy verbiage that you can use to send for your follow-ups. I'll put the link to that right now in the video. But the bottom line is to follow up. Send an email after you meet someone. Even if you didn't say you were gonna follow up, just say it was awesome to meet them and it was great to chat about this and that, and you'd love to stay in touch. This will make sure that you are top of mind whenever there is an opportunity that they have that they need to bring someone in for. Number 5, how to find work in your local community no matter where you live. Now, this story comes from David Russin, who I interviewed in episode 43. David makes a living as a full-time pattern maker, and he lives in a teeny tiny town in Colorado. So how did he build his freelance business? He started volunteering at a local design incubator. Now, the design incubator happens to be based in Denver, which is about an hour drive for him. So he makes the hour drive and he shows up there once a week. As a result, he meets a ton of people. But here's the strategy. David did this to go to the design incubator and help people. He saw this as an opportunity to help people and provide value to the design incubator. He did not look at this as, I need a job, I'm here here to network and get freelance work. Because when you come off as a person who's just there saying, I need this, I need that, help me with a job, people don't like that. It's very off-putting. But if you show up as a person who can offer to help, who has some value to add, who can be a support to that local community, people look at you as the amazing, awesome go-to person. It goes back to being a team player and being nice. Putting in some of that value up front, even if you're not directly getting compensated for it, can go so far in the long run. This is how you build genuine relationships and friendships. Now here's the thing. Not every community event that you go to or space that you try to get involved with or whatever it is that's going on locally is going to be an amazing success. You may have to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things until you find the right space or a group of people to get involved with. You have to put in the time to go out there and try different things and meet different people and see what works and see what you feel good about. And sometimes all it takes is for that one friend to turn into a couple other friends and for your relationships and your network to spider and grow. And all of a sudden you know a ton of people who are working on similar things and you can all help each other's careers. Number 6, the 2 magic words that can make or break your fashion career success. Now, I actually don't have a specific podcast episode to share on this one, but this is something that has come up so much in my personal life that I feel obliged to share. The 2 magic words, thank you. It is bleeping believable how many people do not say thank you. No matter what the environment is, if it's something that's happening in a Facebook group, via email, via LinkedIn messaging, in real life, say thank you to people. If someone answered your question, reviewed your portfolio or resume, or helped you out with a new job, tell them thank you. Here's a specific example that happened to me. One of my students was breaking out to be a freelance fashion designer, and a few opportunities came through my inbox of brands who were looking for designers with her exact skill set. So I sent an email introduction. Hey, here's this brand. They need your exact skills. Are you interested? And I connected them. I did this for her for 3 new freelance job opportunities. Would you believe she never once followed up to say thank you to me or to tell me what happened with the project? So what do you think happened when I got another email in my inbox that had more work opportunities for someone just like her? I send it to someone else who appreciates when I pass a referral along. Now, I'm sure she didn't do this on purpose and it was just an innocent oversight. But the bottom line is how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like she doesn't appreciate the referrals I'm passing along. And in turn, I don't want to do it again for her. Because when it comes down to it, it's about how you make people feel. I'll share the famous quote from Maya Angelou. At the end of the day, people won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. So do the simple act of saying thank you. It makes people feel good. It makes them feel appreciated, and they will love you for it. Number 7, how to stand out from 99% of the competition and make sure that you're the one that gets the job. I've talked about this concept before in the videos and on the podcast. And it's this concept of do the extra credit. Simply put, it means going above and beyond in your workload or to help someone out with their workload. And Kirby Nunez, who I interviewed in episode 72 of the Successful Fashion Designer podcast, is the perfect example of doing just this. Kirby landed his dream internship at Puma after he had applied for it 7 times. He got 6 no's, and finally on the 7th time, he got a yes. His foot was in the door at Puma, and 2.5 years later, after starting out as an unpaid intern, he still works there as a full-time paid employee. So how did he stand out from all the other interns who he told me did not get invited to stay on as employees? He did the extra credit. So what exactly does this look like? In Kirby's specific example, he offered to help other people with projects they were working on. Instead of leaving early after he had finished his assigned workload, which is what all the other interns were doing, he saw things that needed to be done and he asked to help do them. He answered emails and did work for people who were out of town. This was a great way to get additional experience and to slowly step up the ladder in his workload. So think about ways you could go above and beyond, that you can do an exceptional job and seek out opportunities to help other people with their work or to identify things that need to be done and offer to do them. I am telling you, you will stand out in a huge way, because if you make someone's life easier or job easier, that's gonna make them feel really good and they are going to remember you. And last, number 8, the easy way to maintain your network and have fun doing it. Here's the thing about having a network. It doesn't have to be this really stiff, uptight thing. It can be as casual as going out to lunch or happy hour with people. Extracurricular work activities can be priceless to make new friends and to build really solid relationships. I have two specific examples I want to share. First example is from Maylee Bingham, who I interviewed in episode 29. Maylee works for Phillips Van Heusen, a multi-billion-dollar lifestyle apparel company. All of her opportunities over the 15 or so years that she's worked in the industry, you guessed it, they've come from friends. Now, one of Maylee's strategies that she consciously does is brilliant. She has great working relationships with the people in her direct department, and her strategy for building and making even more relationships is to make friends with people in the peripheral departments. Now, at a really big company, she works specifically in design. So outside of that, she's got product development and maybe a sourcing team and all these other separate teams. And so she focuses on making friends in those teams. She does this by asking people in those departments out to lunch. And when they're at lunch, they talk about work, yes, but she really inquires about their job and what they're working on. And she specifically asks them what she can do better or differently in her work to make their job and their life easier. So those people wind up loving her because, as we just said, if you can make someone's job or life easier, they will never forget you. The next example comes from Sheena Schoolcraft, who I interviewed in episode 11. And all of Sheena's jobs for brands like DKNY and Tommy Hilfiger have come from friends and referrals. Now, Sheena doesn't specifically go to industry mixers or networking events. Instead, she initiates happy hours and invites her team to them. Because when you start bonding with people outside of work in a more personal and casual environment, that's where the true relationships and friendships begin. And these true relationships and friendships is what will lead to your next job opportunity and your next and your next and your next. You guys, these strategies work. They are so simple, but I know from my own experience and after interviewing over 75 people on the Successful Fashion Designer podcast, it is clear as day that the people who easily get ahead in their career, yes, they work hard, but they also make friends and relationships along the way. It's as simple as helping people on the team out, being an awesome, nice, and fun person to work with, keeping in touch, and reaching out not only when you need something. It's about having conversations. This is the magic that will create your network and that will allow your dream job to literally fall in your lap anytime you need it. Now, if you want to hear the full stories of how these designers implemented these strategies over the years, check out their full interviews on the Successful Fashion Designer podcast. They're all linked below in the description. In the meantime, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button below and give the video a thumbs up. And for more free tips, tutorials, and advice on getting ahead in the cutthroat fashion industry, head on over to successfulfashiondesigner.com and sign up for the email list. I share tons of stuff there that you don't see on YouTube. I'd also love to hear from you. What networking strategy are you going to implement right away? Let me know below by leaving a comment. I know how to make a 7. I'll share the famous quote from Maya and I know how to say her name. I think I just spit. Got so excited I just spit. Whew. Bangs are getting greasy. And pack them up into a short